All right, engine's off the stand now. And we got the old flywheel here. Oop, the flywheel's right here. And the clutch. Clutch and the pressure plates are in here. Pressure plates there. So what we need to do first is install the pilot bushing that came with the quick draw kit. Also, the quick draw kit requires that you use flywheel and clutch from a 2006 Chevy Silverado 2500, the ones that came with the NV 4500. That's the clutch that we're using for this, and it should work just fine with this. I already checked the splines on there and they match with the clutch, so we're gonna be good to go there. So let's get to throwing those things on there. All right, pilot bearings in there. So this clutch came with a clutch alignment tool and pilot bearing, but it's not made for this transmission. So the snout on that's a little bit bigger than this. So the quick draw kit came with a clutch alignment tool and its own pilot bearing, which matches the size of that. So when I do install the clutch, this will fit just fine in there. I mean, it's a little bit sloppy, but they all are. Just gotta make sure it's centered while you're tightening the pressure plate down. But yeah, there's that. All right, flywheel's on there. Gotta throw some bolts in. I got these new bolts here. But what you wanna do with the flywheel is you wanna put Loctite on these. And normally you'd use the blue stuff, but I'm out of the blue stuff. So I'm probably just gonna throw some red on there and call it a day. Hopefully I don't have to pull it off anytime soon. So red Loctite it is. Dab of the red stuff there, throw her in a hole. A little dab of red juice, put her in a hole. Juice, hole. All right, got the bolts in there. This is how I like to lock the flywheel in place. I just use one of the pressure plate bolts and then a transmission bolt right there and a wrench, and it works pretty good. That's how I do it every time. So yeah, I'm gonna torque these down. The torque specs for these bolts are, you wanna do 3 passes, one at 15 in a star pattern, and then the second pass will be at 37. The final pass will be 74 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna do that real quick. So when you're installing clutch and a pressure plate, you need to make sure that this is very clean and free of oils. So you take some brake cleaner on a quick towel and just wipe it clean. These aren't clean from the factory. They're oiled up a little bit so that it doesn't rust. Pretty dirty. So. Still kind of dirty. So. Apologize if this video is freaking super long, but there's some good info in here. So usually the clutch will tell you which way it wants to be. As you can see, this one says flywheel side, so this part goes towards the flywheel. Grab our clutch alignment tool. This fits in there just like that. Fits in here. So next, you grab your pressure plate and do the same thing, because this is a clutch surface as well. So you got to make sure that's nice and clean, just like the flywheel. So clean that off real quick. Now, what you want to do, you got to find the little dowel pins, line those up with this part here. There's 2 on here. Yeah, there we go. She goes upside down, that's all right. Now this will start squeezing that clutch. So what you want to do before you tighten this down all the way, I mean, you could put your bolts in and stuff like that. You want to make sure this clutch is centered and make sure this slides out easy. If this is hard to pull out, then you need to move your clutch around, because that means it's not centered in there as good as you want it. So now what we can do, got this ARP pressure plate bolt kit. Okay, now we can tighten these down little by little. Yeah, pretty much same deal. Yep. Okay. That'll do. Now, after you torque that down, this should be able to just slide right out. Super easy. That's how you know it's centered. Goes back in. Super easy. Yeah, and that is how you install a flywheel, clutch, and pressure plate. Pretty much on any vehicle, I guess. I mean, it's not just LS specific, but that's how you do it on LS as well. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm gonna finish this up and get back to work. So yeah, give me a follow if you like this type of stuff. Stick around, stay tuned, and we'll be getting this engine in the Jeep pretty soon. So thanks, guys.